Hi everyone, I'm Em from M Cares for Kids, and today I have a quick question for you. Have any of you ever tried finding science magazines for your preschoolers? Well, I have, and trust me, it's not easy. Thankfully, I chanced upon the OKIDO series recently, and it has just been absolutely amazing. Want to find out more? Well, keep watching! So, in case you haven't heard about them yet, let me give you a quick introduction about OKIDO first. OKIDO started off as a British arts and science magazine aimed at children from 3 to 7 years old, designed by science and education experts. Are you ready to have a look at them? Well, drum roll please. And here we are! The OKIDO magazines. This is what the magazines look like, and the first thing that immediately attracted me as an educator and now as a mum is that the illustrations are just so beautiful. They're colorful, the characters always at the forefront. That's Messi, by the way, the main character, a blue little monster. Look at how he's always right in the middle, as if he's inviting you into the magazine to have a look, which I really love. It's also important to note, by the way, that the illustrations are really clear, to the point that even a 3-year-old with minimal reading will easily be able to decipher the theme of the magazine just by looking at the drawings. Now, let's just look at this, for example. You can tell very clearly that Messi is in a kitchen and he's trying to cook. So it tells you that this magazine is about cooking, or in this case, if we use a bit more complex words, kitchen science. And this is all about plants, because you see him planting. And the last one here is about space. So yeah, I just really like how it's clear, it's to the point, and it's so very inviting. And because the illustrations are so clear, it helps to create a talking point, especially for the younger readers who may not be able to read on their own just as yet. Now, let's talk about what you will see in the magazine. So, this magazine is by far one of the most wholesome ones I have come across, and the fact that it caters to such young children is just great, right? So as a preschool educator myself, trust me when I say it can be an uphill battle sometimes to teach scientific concepts to the young ones. I tried teaching my children about plants, and as much as, we can do experiments and it really helps, it's always best to have a variety of different ways to expose children to concepts, and this magazine does just that. It's not just print, but there's also a lot of practical, physical ideas inside, which we will talk more about later. So, since we started talking about plants, let's look at this magazine first, shall we? It has stories, activities, games, doodles, recipe, and a song. So it makes it not just a printed book. It helps you to do things with your child. This is a sample of the story. It's a very short story, but it's also rather easy to understand. So just a 4-page story, very comic style. And what I really enjoy is that it helps children to engage in the book and start learning the concepts without actually having to be taught them. And even better is that having so many different activities in the book, it helps to cater to children of different learning styles, which is always something that especially educators and I'm sure even parents would love to do, right? Not every child is the same, and having something that caters to children's different learning styles is always a bonus. What I also like about stories is that it opens doors to more questions and conversations, which is exactly how little ones learn, isn't it? So just take a look at this next story, for example. It's about the life of a cherry, and there's so many questions on this little part which are all answered here. So it really shows children that asking questions and thinking outside the box is something they should be proud of and that they should keep doing. And their curiosity and affinity to ask questions pushes us adults to further extend their learning by looking for answers together. For example, if they ask you something that you can't answer or that isn't answered in the magazine, you can say, oh, I really don't know how that works, or I don't know the answer to that. Let's find out together. Which, again, strengthens the bond between you and teaches children how to look for answers and not just be spoon-fed. Something I think many of us in this time and age really, really need to learn because of the volatile world. Let's look at this. So this is another story which promotes emergent reading. So there's a picture and the word under. So the younger ones who can't read just as yet, they can just look at the picture and say the word. And for those who can read, they just have to read the word under. And these are the illustrations for the story. And you can just continue talking about the story using the pictures. Also, look how graphic the magazine is. It is really full of pictures, colors, and it really is focused in arts. And what I like about it also is that it's not only about art and science. The magazines also offer an opportunity for the children to learn different domains like math and language. It's not subject oriented, but rather an integrated learning style that the magazine's creators have focused on, which is really in tune with our young children's style of learning. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention one thing too. Read through the magazine, you'll notice that despite it being a British publication, it doesn't actually in fact have any British slang, which makes it easy for children of all countries to understand, be it whether you're a native English speaker or not. It really simplifies the understanding of the contents of the magazine, which again, for someone who teaches children from multiple different backgrounds and nationalities, I think it's very, very helpful. So now, this is where the activities, the hands-on activities come in. And as you may see here, the pages are not fully white. I normally would prefer white coloring pages as it really brings out the colors that the children use a lot more. However, in this case, it is very important to note that the magazines are created using recycled paper, and that's why the hue you see on the pages is as such. The rest of it is where our hands-on experience comes in. So This is basically to make compost, and you literally can do this in your house with minimal extra prep. Look at all this. Like, this is amazing. I've tried this with my children, and it turned out pretty cool, turned out pretty great. Even though we did it in our school with minimal lighting, it did grow quite a bit, and they were quite happy about it. These are games that you can play. If you're a teacher, you need it, blown up. You can always blow it up and make it bigger for more children, or you can get smaller groups of children to play. It's just something fun. And of course, cookery lessons. Who doesn't like cooking? This is where you'll find recipes that are absolutely delicious. I'm not much of a cook myself, but it turned out great. And it's really nice that the instructions are rather clear. So it's really fun. And it's also quite easy. So you don't really have to do too much. And your child can help you with it, even though your child might just be 3 or 4 years old. So yes, let me just quickly run through the other magazines for you to just have a look at. So this one is about kitchen science. See how fun and interactive the magazine is. The language part, the math part. It's something that will keep your children entertained. You can take it anywhere with you. The last one about space travel. This one might be a little bit more complex for maybe the 3 or 4 year olds, but it's still fun to just introduce it to them and read the stories together. I'm sure they'll really appreciate looking at the pictures, talking about it. This cosmic jar was a hit. I didn't do it quite exactly the same way. You can always tweak what you read and what you see, and do whatever fits your needs and the materials you have around you. So yeah, it was really a big hit with my little ones. Oh, one more thing I completely forgot to mention. Every single magazine has a little bit of an extension, be it for crafts or for a game. And the last one, it's to create something basically for yourself. So yeah, that's about it. And I truly cannot emphasize how much I stand by this magazine and appreciate the efforts that go behind creating a brand new publication every single month. From their eye-catching illustrations to their fun and engaging, wholesome content, the OKIDO magazines make learning enjoyable for children of all learning styles while building strong relationships. And it's not only a tool for learning about science, but it also opens the doors to so much more learning. And I think it brings joy to many children's faces. To learn more, hop on over to their website, and I'm sure you'll not regret having chanced upon this magazine just like me. Bye. Have a great day, everybody.